Hey there, so today we have another review. This is a beer courtesy of Ryan from Brewing Table. This is Universal Leisure Array. Universal Leisure Array. That is quite a name. Again, I still haven't figured out what animals are on this label, but it is HBC 586 Simcoe Mosaic IPA. There was All American Burger. Was one of the best IPAs I've had in quite a while. Just insane. They call it West Coast style IPA. Absolutely delicious. Their hopping is absolutely delicious. So, wait. All American Burger. Yeah, that was West Coast IPA. And then it also has something like really tasty hazy IPA too. So, this one is obviously more of a classic IPA. Beer comes in a light gold color, quite clear, a little bit of chill haze on that. Not completely, yeah. A little bit of chill haze on that. Slightly white head. Or wonderful white head. Smells great. Wow. Simcoe Mosaic, yeah. It almost has a little bit of a berry melon character, but Mosaic can also do that, so really quite nice. Yeah. Has this kind of star fruit, white grape, cotton candy grape, cantaloupe, lychee, longan kind of thing going on. Quite fresh, quite exotic, really. I'm curious what the HBC 586 is bringing into the table here. It smells just a little bit more exotic than generally what Mosaic does, but it's in line with that. So, oh, yeah. Yeah, fleshy, exotic fruits. You know, sometimes you go citrusy, sometimes you go berry, sometimes you go tropical, stone fruit, melon. This is more exotic on the end. So really pushing the fruit profiles that you can get out of this. Yeah, I get Asian pear, like fuzzy Asian pear. Is it fuzzy? I don't know. It's like Asian pear has this exotic sweetness to it too. Wow, it smells really good. Oh, there's some other fruit I'm thinking of. Quince. Yeah. It's got an extra, like Asian pear quince, like a special kind of like apple pear flavor. A lot of pear now that I think about it more. Wow, really nice. That's a silly nose. It's really fun. 6.2. It's actually almost like a paleo. Or on the edge, but that's quite nice. Yeah. Nothing too crazy on the palate. The crazy thing is actually the quote unquote Lupo lager was actually way hoppier than this on the palate. It's a little bit more tame on the palate. Follows with just a clear, crystal, pristine kind of like IPA flavor, right? Follows on the palate with more of that kind of like exotic fruit flavor, a little bit of like a palm fruit going on, tart apples, sweet slash tart pears as well. Bitterness is really restrained on this guy. Light biscuity malt, not too much malt to speak of. Not too much bitterness to speak of. Really low in bitterness. This beer is like almost devoid of bitterness. Yeah, there's almost no bitterness in this guy. It's crazy. I don't know if they meant for that, but there's really almost no bitterness for this guy. I feel like this beer could really, excuse me, really ride on a little bitterness to help complement the hops on this guy. Yeah, it's good beer. I mean, like it smells great. It has a lot of the hop flavor up front. On top of the hop flavors that I mentioned, there's also this kind of general, just like green polyphenol thing that comes in. Like it has a nice punchy kind of myrcene thing going on. There's a little bit of like sweetness too. I find there's just a little bit of like, it's not really quite malt sweetness, like malt flavor sweetness. It just has some sweetness to it, which is quite nice to help give the beer some body. It's not a big beer at 6.2, but it really seems like it drinks at like almost 7%, so it's quite nice. But yeah, I think like a punchy bitterness would make more sense for this beer, and then also if the aromatics fall a little bit more through the palate, like it smells so fresh and it's like a lot going on, and it does have a lot of freshness on the palate. So yeah, I think there's a lot of flavor on the palate. I think it just lacks. It's not as concentrated hoppiness from what I noticed from the Lupo Lager, and obviously I think the All American Burger that I had, or whatever they call it, the West Coast IPA. I feel that had definitely a more residual, kind of like lingering hop flavor to it, but also just lacks a little bitterness. Like the bitterness comes in at medium minus. But it's a dumb drinkable beer. That's so good. Yeah. I think this is just as good as the Lupo Lager. Probably not as good, but just right there. So let's go with a solid 93. That is Universal Leisure Array from Roaring Table. Thank you so much for trying. This is fantastic stuff. Until next time, cheers. Later.